don't have to listen to it. But it's easy for
I
me to
know.
just send it to you.
So I'm going to preface this with the two things in the world that tend to freak me out are seeing myself on video and role playing.
Okay, been there.
So
Not my favorite thing either, ever.
But I'm sorry?
Not my favorite thing either. Role playing? Not.
I just kind of like freeze. So if I'm talking to someone, I'm more natural. When I'm role playing, I feel like I'm acting. So then I kind of freeze. So but I've talked to you enough that that's why I'm thinking this will be good.
Well, good. So we just talked about objections with Karen and how to handle them. And I kind of just went through sort of a quick run through of how I talk to my people. But like how do people find you? That's one of the big things I always ask them, is how I start out with.
So let me just get this, got it out of there. So people so far for this particular program, it's been through a Facebook post. And or not through for this program, but my monthly article that I write.
Perfect.
That I've been doing for a few years. That is another way people reach out to me. And I've recently added a QR code to the hard copies that are in various locations.
Nice.
That goes right to sign up for the email kind of thing. But anyway, so I do always ask people how they found me.
Do you ask them what made them click and book the appointment?
Yes,
Good.
absolutely. Like, because I'm so excited that if they've done that, they are interested in making positive steps forward to improve their health. So yes, and then what's happened, and I'm just going to go to these two people who did enroll. They were just the only two people who responded to this particular post, and I enrolled them both. I asked them the one question about why, and then just listened. And then based on what they told me and what that one is a current caregiver, the other one's a former caregiver. They both were coming at it from different places and had different health issues. But so I asked questions about, what they've done in the past, what worked, what didn't.
Right. Good.
Why, or what the biggest obstacles were in the past.
Yeah.
And then when it seemed right, and with one of them, it was after a very long time, maybe 45 minutes into the conversation. Wow. With this, and caregivers, in my job, I've worked with family caregivers, and at work, I remember there was a time when we said, we're going to give 20-minute free caregiver consultations. And then we're going to help guide them to all the resources in the community that they need to support their situation. And I was the first person to do that. And I found that it took 20 minutes just for the person to tell their story. This is like somebody's listening to me finally. I'm the doer, and now I have somebody sitting here who's listening. So anyway, with that first person, it was 45 minutes later when I asked her if she was willing to make some changes. So
do you have a little survey they can fill out?
I do.
Okay.
But
do they fill that out? Okay, but do they fill it out before they come to you?
No. Well, no, they don't. And that's the key.
Because that'll save a lot of time. Because I always say, okay, how'd you find me? Blah, blah. They say they clicked, and then I have a video. So one of the other questions, which is on the survey, it says, it'll say, what stood out to you most about the video? So I can see that on my survey, right?
Okay.
And there's questions on my survey about, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the most important, like, where would you rate losing weight, having more energy, better sleep, stress, family history, you know, or yeah, preventing family history of illness or whatever, and having better relationship with your food. And sometimes they're a 10 on all of them.
Okay.
Right. And so I'll just say to them, thank you so much for filling out the survey. It really helped me. I see that you've put 10 on all of these. If you had to choose your top 2, what would they be? What would be your top 2 priorities? So now you can narrow it down and you can make your phone conversation, make your conversation a bit shorter. Because yeah, you want to hear their story, but you want to be able to dovetail into exactly what their top issues are too, right? First.
Yep.
So, so getting them to admit, you know, to dive into that. So get them the survey before you meet with them, like email it to them or whatever. Email them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, email them the survey.
Yeah, whatever. However, you're going to do that first. Because that's what I was doing first, just emailing them the survey, and then I would get me, you know, Survey Monkey. You can do a free Survey Monkey.
Right.
Yeah.
So, can I read you what my survey said?
Sure. Yeah, surveys.
So what is it that what is it that brought you here today? Have you gotten results before? How long did your results last? What challenges have you experienced? Have you ever achieved your goals with your health? How long did that last? What would you say is your biggest obstacle? Are you willing to make some changes to break through barriers? Why is it that you want to achieve your health goals? Once you do, then what?
Okay. So good.
Okay. Any tweaks?
No. So if you can condense maybe a couple and just to make them, like, how many questions do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9, yeah. Okay. It just seemed like there was a couple I thought that almost sounded like they were
redundant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just just get rid of 1 or 2 or combine them or something, just reword them so that there's a bit more concise. Because if you said something about in the past, and then you said, have you ever achieved your goals? How long did they last? So that it kind of was a little bit.
I actually added that in.
Oh, okay. So
I didn't realize I said that already. I thought I forgot it. So yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, so just make it more concise, that's all. But those are good questions, because then you get a sense of what they're doing. So then you can ask them, okay, so tell me, you know, you've done some dieting in the past, what have you tried? Then they'll start to tell you their story or whatever, right? You can figure out where they've been. Do you have any family history of health? So do the housekeeping questions, you know, like are you married? Do you have kids? How long you been in this field? How long have you been a healthcare provider? You know, maybe they just started 6 months ago. Maybe they've been doing it for like 20 years. Who knows? And that'll give you a sense of, you know, and so maybe after, like, this is when you're talking to them, but maybe after you found out how long they've been doing it. So, do you have a good support system? You know, have you felt supported in the past? Because they probably don't if they're coming to see you.
Correct.
And then you can get a sense about that. Okay. And so then you can, you know, if they don't have a good support system, but they're continuing to do that job, they deserve a good pat on the back, right? So thank you so much for doing what you do, because we need people in this, which I'm sure you do, right? We need people in these positions who really want to be there to take care of to take care of our loved ones. So thank you so much for doing that. I understand how stressful that is. I've been there. I'm, you know, I'm right with you. I've been in your shoes, and that's literally why I do what I do.
And so, yes, and that's the professional caregiver. Many people that I talk to are family caregivers. It's their own family member that they're caring for. So, but it's the same kind of thing.
The same thing.
You have a support system. It's all the same.
All the same. Yep, totally. Because, and you can say that to them, you know, whether it doesn't matter if you've done this professionally as your job, or if you're doing this, you know, you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart for your family member. It's the same amount of stress and work and all the things. And you might feel like you're totally alone by yourself. There's a whole bunch of people out there feeling the exact same way that you do. Just know that, right? So you just kind of validate them and bring them in, and they'll be like, okay, she totally gets me now. And
Yeah.
once they've understand that you are on their same page and that you've been in the trenches and that you do what they do, then they'll, you know, they'll really open up to you, which I'm sure that you do that already. And so, getting down to when you start talking about the program, you're talking about, you find out what their top goals are and all of that kind of stuff. And here's a good question for them. When was the last time you took 15 minutes just for yourself?
That is actually, oh my goodness, that's perfect. That is actually, I have a separate caregiver survey, and that is one of the questions.
That
And
should be asked to
the
every person.
exact question.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
that should be asked to every single person. So congratulations to you for having that on there, because really people are in a position, they're in a position because they're not putting that oxygen mask on first. Right?
Correct.
And then then they're gonna look at you like, huh, yeah, I don't even remember when. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
you know, and you say to them, well, like in the airplane with the oxygen mask, there's a reason they do that,
Right.
right? You can't pour from an empty cup, and you're nodding and they're getting it and they're nodding. They're like, yeah, I totally get you. They just needed someone to tell them that it's okay to do that,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
They knew that they should be
Totally
doing
what they
this,
need.
but they're
Yep.
feeling selfish for wanting to do it. So as soon as someone tells them they should be doing it, like, heck, you know what? This is actually selfish of you not to do it, because you're going to be stronger, healthier, better equipped to help grandma, husband, whoever, because you are a stronger, healthier being with more
Absolutely.
patience, with more rest, with blah, blah, blah. You get it.
So the reason this is feeling so good to me, this whole mastermind and narrowing down and getting the message more clear and all that, for the longest time is my story. What's my story? I felt like I didn't have a story. Everybody has a story. I don't have a story. And I kept everything so separate that it
Mhm.
didn't occur to me that what I was living was my story, that what I was doing for my work,
My
I've
story.
been there. I've done this. It's a story. I did this. I did it professionally for more than a decade. Work with
Yeah.
family caregivers, telling them exactly. And when I created my little questionnaire, I didn't include. I included what I learned, which was all good and very valuable, but I didn't take any of my story into it, of what I knew that people need to hear if
Yeah.
they're in that position.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody hit me over the head with a mallet,
Yeah.
it's like, hello, it's your story.
No, I
So,
did the same thing too I was like, what story? I don't really have a story. I was never really overweight. I didn't, yeah, blah, blah, what's my story? And then all of a sudden I got thinking, and it was, I think because I was doing closing with Carrie, like that just really brought more things in. I started using some of it, but I was like, oh, well, I literally used to use sticky notes on the counter to count up calories and fat grams.
okay.
Okay, well, I'm sure people did that. I never even, oh yeah, that's part of my story. Okay. Yeah, I traveled Europe for 5 weeks and didn't gain any weight because I knew how to stabilize my blood sugar and I knew how to pack well. And I still ate the gelato for 3 days and I had wine and bread and cheese that I never have at home. And neither did my husband gain any weight when we came home. Okay, that's a good story. But
Right?
right?
It's just like, I know.
But you just sometimes don't think about you. You can see everyone else's. It's like, oh my gosh, why can't you
Yep.
see that? What are you doing?
Right, right.
And so, yeah, but when you're just kind of living it every day and it's just kind of not dramatic in any one
Mhm.
place, I think
Right,
that's where we're looking for is like that, oh, dramatic one thing.
right, right. I
Yeah.
hear these wonderful stories and I think, "Oh, wow, that's wonderful. I don't
Yeah.
have that going on," but
No, but we don't need a dramatic thing because most of the population is not.
mhm,
Most of the population is,
right.
oh, thanks. Yeah, just like exactly right. Most of the people are just average. Like they don't have those wild, crazy bits. They just need, okay, they just need this.
Yes. And when I said the two people that I've done with this program, I don't mean from our beginning, because
Right,
when
yeah.
we do it, yeah, I mean, since the last few weeks when we've been doing
Right.
this. And then, but I think it's a no-brainer, because first of all, look what you're getting. And my price right now, pilot price, is the $297 with the workbook.
Okay.
So even though there'll be, the lifetime membership and access to the supportive community, coaching with me, 2 personal coaching sessions within the 100 days, and the small group and the Monday calls, is less than $3 a day for this pilot program. It's $297, includes a workbook, and
Really play off the lifetime membership.
mhm.
Lifetime membership to your access to your portal, which you can access on your phone or your laptop. Lifetime membership to all the materials in there. Plus you have a workbook, a hard copy that you can write on. You get lifetime access to the group where there is live coaching every week. And if you can't attend, it's recorded. So you can go back and watch it any single time you like. Plus you get one-on-one coaching sessions with me so that you can, we can personalize it for you.
Mhm.
Like you really got to emphasize all these things. And so, give them a price of what it would normally be.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Would normally be X. But because this is something that we're just piloting, you get to, benefit from that, and you're getting it for $297.
So, and then I was going to end with, which I didn't even have to do yet, but I was going to end with that one-on-one coaching with me per month is $280
Right. So that's like,
for 1 month.
right. So you can just say, so generally, even just the coaching with me without all the extras is $280 a month. Like coaching with Mark McDonald is $10,000 for a weekend.
Right. And
So, and
Gary,
you get, right,
7,000, it's one-on-one, or 10,000 is one-on-one, whatever.
and 7,000 or 6,500
Yeah.
for her, for a program, for a
Yeah.
3-month program. And you're getting their expertise weekly that you can plug into.
So when I had my call with Mark, a couple of calls that have been great. And one of the things we talked about was this group that I am going to be presenting to in January. They're mental health professionals, but the founder of their group is 50 years old and in medical school right now. And it happens to be a very strong acquaintance of mine. So I reached out to her and she said, yes, I want the group to hear about this. And so I went through with him what I was going to say, or bullet points, and he didn't want me to mention him and Carrie. He said, no, we need them to respect you and your expertise.
Right. So for that, I agree. But for the group, you're going to be putting them in the group.
Right.
Individual people, right? So they'll see that. So you can say that
absolutely.
Right, that
but
you partnered with them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But no, you definitely want to play up you. Right?
Because
so
I had
that's
put,
why you've chosen.
that's why,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You've chosen to partner with them because now you have a system that they can follow each and every day that you know, that matches what you've been coaching clients for years. Right? And it's in a system that's easiest for them to access online, in a book, on their phone, however they want to do it. You don't have to mention Mark and Carrie. You can say you're going to get live coaching calls from qualified, world-renowned coaches.
There you go.
So you don't even have to mention that.
Yeah.
Don't mention the names, just mention that then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and then with the other one, you know, you have personal access to me, you have online, are you putting them into the PFC3 thing with your friend there? Okay, so then you'll have, exactly, so then they'll have access to information from coaches globally,
Yep.
also practice, you know, coaching the same thing, you know, also with the same philosophy. So you have a massive system of support. See, so now they're coming to you because you're the person who has access to that group. Because he's right about not mentioning them to the other people, because if you mention them, then they're just going to go out and search them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? But if they have to get all the information through you, and you don't mention how to get it, except through you, they have to come through you. Right?
So that is why I hit this little stumbling block when Tara, that my friend, asked if could you send me something to read before we talk? And I did, because he made that suggestion, I didn't know what to send her. You know, and I asked Dr. Anna, I said, okay, as a medical professional, among what we have at our fingertips, what information would you be most interested in knowing about?
Yeah.
And she said, guide them to the website, guide her to, and I didn't think so. So I haven't.
Can you scan a couple of the pages of the workbook?
Can I? I mean, can I? Is the question. I mean, I can, but can I?
Yeah, why not?
Well, because it's copyrighted stuff.
Well, then you
right?
can say, okay, I'm just going to send you a couple pages of the workbook that we would be using to show, you know, that we use blood sugar stabilization,
Mhm.
you know, and just let her know that and you could put a watermark over it that says draft or something so she can't use it,
Okay, there we go.
right? Something like that.
She totally wouldn't use it, but
Right, because she's a professional and she's your friend, but just
yeah.
something, or meet with her on Zoom and pull up the workbook and have the
Mhm.
pages open that you want her to see. So you don't see Mark and Carrie, but you see, okay, we're talking about blood sugar stabilization, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. You know,
Yep,
that kind of
that's
stuff.
a good
You could
idea.
bring up the community on your screen and have it open to somebody's comment about what they're saying, or, you know, show them my recipes or something like that, you know, I don't know.
Yep.
All of those kinds of things. So just say, hey, let's do a quick call instead of that. I said, the information is copyrighted. You know, I'm happy to send you a couple screenshots with my phone, but I can show you much better if we just hop on Zoom. I can bring it up on my screen. You can take a look. What do you say?
Great. I'd say yes.
Right? That's what she'd say. She'd be like, oh, okay, sure. Let me see. You know, when's a good time? Plus, you know her. So this is even better. So does that help?
Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
And the two things that you need to remember that really locked it in that I got from Carrie, which is really great. And I was doing most of it, but I missed this piece. So everything that I'm saying to you makes sense, right? Like everything makes sense, right? Always ask the question. This is exactly the same as network marketing. Everything makes sense, right? Right. Okay. And then the other one is, okay, so do you need this?
Mhm. Oh yeah. What a
Oh, I
question
love
that is.
right? Do you need this? Oh, absolutely. Some people say, oh my gosh, yes, I do. And then they go on and on as to why. Other people are just like, yep, totally do. Or other people are like, well, I kind of like the idea, but I'm not really quite sure what it is yet or whatever. Well, okay, but based on, you know, what you've done before and whatever, blood sugar stabilization, all the things, do you think you need this? Or do you need this? So you have to kind of keep coming around till you get their buy-in. Yes, I need this. And you also have to get their buy-in. Okay, well then, that's great. I don't work, I don't invite everybody to coach in the program because there's only me. And so I can only service so many people at a time. What I need from the women I coach with is that your commitment that you would be able to dedicate at least 15 minutes, that 15 minutes, remember, because you brought it up at the beginning, right? That 15 minutes
Yeah.
that you can dedicate to yourself every day. Can you show up for yourself 15 minutes a day? Can you commit? Because if they can't commit, JoAnn, don't coach them.
Really?
If
Okay.
they're not ready,
So, right. If they say, I don't
some of them will say, well, I
think
don't
I
know.
can.
Right.
Yeah. I
Some will
don't
say,
know if
I
I
don't
can.
know. Yeah, they'll say, I don't know. How much is it? No. That has no bearing. Then you say, well, it could be $10 or 10,000, neither of which it is. But if you can't show up for yourself, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So are you able to show up for yourself? Will you? Better question. Will you? And you can even say that to them. Better question. Will you show up for yourself every single day? 15 minutes. You are worth way more than 15 minutes, JoAnn. Like, will you show up for 15 minutes? And if they won't, then you're just like, okay, you know what? I understand that, yes, you need this. I just don't think you're ready to do it yet. And that's okay. So how about we book another appointment to come back and chat in a month?
Yeah.
Right. And they'll be like, okay, they really don't just want my money. They really want to help me. Right. Wheels start turning.
Mhm.
And if they do say, yeah, I can do that. Okay, fine. And then you can present your program, however you present it. And then, okay, what are your thoughts now that you've seen all that? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Do you need this? Need the buy-in, right? Yes, I absolutely do. Great. Okay. So if this fits into your financial picture, are you in? So those are the two things I missed, was the do you need this? And if this fits into your financial picture, are you in? It's much more effective with it. Have posture, say it. It's going to feel weird at first. Just say it. Trust me. Just do it.
Even at the 297 that I think is a no-brainer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there is someone who got in at the pilot, the 67 and 67, who I know, just someone I know, who former client and of
Yep.
relaxation therapies. And she absolutely loves this program, loves it. She's on every single Monday. She's had wonderful results. She loves it. I told her what I was going to be doing with the small groups. I said, and Jackie, you've been loving this and living it, and your friends are commenting. Who among them do you think would want to do what you're doing? And she said, oh, well, wait, it's not what I paid for it anymore. It's $247 now, isn't it? And I said, and I laid out, what it was going to be. And she said, oh, I don't know. I don't know if anybody would pay that. Now that
Just ignore
is
her, JoAnn. I know. There's always those people. I had people
right.
get on my call and think that they were going to get all of my stuff for $100.
What?
Yes. My
Whoa.
$2,500 program, $100,
Whoa.
right?
Whoa.
So the question you ask them when they bring up the price, when you say the price, okay, all in, yes, okay, yeah. You tell them, okay, so great, you get lifetime, blah, 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 blah. List it all out, make it sound really
Yep.
great, all
Yep.
for a one-time payment of $297, an introductory one-time payment, right? Introductory price.
Introductory. Yeah.
Introductory one-time payment. That way, if they have friends later, that's in the back of their mind. It's not the permanent
Yep.
price, right? Introductory one-time payment of $297. Oh, I don't know if I can afford that. Well, okay. I get it. Times are tight. So when you booked the appointment, you knew there was a cost to the program, right? Well, yeah. What did you think it was going to be? Because now they have to qualify it,
Mhm.
right? And so then you can go from there. I mean, you don't need to argue with them, but it's just like, oh, well, I don't know. And then you say, well, and you know what? You just ask them, so when was the last time you spent some money on yourself? When's the last time you ever did anything just for you? Money aside, like really, when was the last time you did? Because really, if this was something that your kids needed, you know, they needed money for camp or their car broke down or whatever it is, or your friend or whoever, you would do it, right? Yeah, right. Okay. So you need to know that you are worth this. You need to know that don't you feel that you deserve better health? You already told me that you need this. You already told me that you don't want to end up like blah, 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 blah. You already told me that, you know, your doctor said you have to get the weight off. You already told me, you already told me, you already told me. Bring those back to them. So what's your plan if you don't do this?
Like that. Yay.
What's your plan if
Hello.
you don't do this? Well, I don't know. I'd probably go back to whatever. And so, well, you already said that didn't work, right? So
Yep.
where would you see yourself in the next 5 years if you don't do this? Like, it's a little bit harsh, but
Well, it is, but it
for
sometimes it
those,
has to be
because for those people who
what
just
has, yes.
they're not doing it for themselves. Like, they're just like,
Oh,
I'm not putting myself first at all. And so here's the other question. So if those, you know, all those health things continue to get in the way or get worse, what's that going to mean for those people that you're working with, those people that you're serving? What's going to mean for them? Because if they won't do it for themselves,
exactly. Like what's going to happen to
what's
your
going to
mom
happen?
if
Yep.
something happened to you?
And that's a
Who's
fair
going to take care
question
of it then?
because they
Yep.
don't want to say it out loud, but they know
No,
it. So that's
but
your job. You have to say it out loud. You have to say it with posture and with kindness. And I know you can because you're
yes.
all about that's just you. You're just so, you know, that's why you're in that field. So there, I think that pretty much covers it. Those are my tips, and was the objections. And you didn't really have to role play, but I don't think you need to role play that. I think you just needed to know the right words.
Yeah, thank you so, so much. And I just want to say one thing out loud
Yep.
that I say to myself sometimes with certain people. And in my age group, there's a lot of people who will spend money on all the stuff to make their appearance look better. And they don't pay any attention to their health. And I think to myself, but this would be mean. Do you just want to look pretty in the coffin? I mean, that's awful, but that thought has crossed my mind.
So then you can say, you know what? I heard this before, and it's a little bit harsh. So you can not ask them, you can tell them what you've heard.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Because you heard it, it popped in your head.
If did pop,
So the
it's
Lord
like,
spoke it to you, so you heard it,
mhm.
and it's for somebody. And you'll know who that person is for.
Wow. It's just, yeah, it's sad to me
It is sad.
sometimes.
No, you're totally right, JoAnn. Because you know what? Botox isn't going to do crap if your blood pressure's through the roof,
Hmm.
or if you
Hmm.
got cancer or whatever.
Right, right.
If you got arthritis so bad that you can't help lift up that person anymore, what the heck good are you?
Exactly.
And you feel like crap every day.
Um, and also, before we close, I just want to ask if you'd send a couple of prayers. Sadly, I lost another friend last week, and someone else's terminal that I've been supporting. It's just like, my goodness, what the heck is happening? So I've been trying to power through all this and just keep doing what I'm doing and trying to do that. But
Let's just pray
so
right now.
and okay,
Oh,
thank you. Oh
Father God,
my,
I just thank you for JoAnn, for her kindness, for her empathy, for her skills and her passion in what she does in helping these people in hospice and in helping hospice workers to really start to take care of themselves so they can be their best selves and so that they can give even more to those people that they are working with. And Father God, I just pray peace and strength and calmness, guidance, wisdom, and direction for JoAnn as she is navigating through these really turbulent waters right now, and that you just bring her peace, Father God, in Jesus' name, amen.
amen. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank,
welcome. You're
thank you.
welcome. Prayer's the easy thing. Well, I gotta run. They're waiting for me. So,
Okay.
all right. You have a good
Yay.
day. I will send you the recordings when they're up, probably later because we're running out now, but I'll send it to you and let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer or troubleshoot anything you got.
Okay, I forgot I was being recorded when I said that last thing.
That's okay. Okay, the prayer's on record too. There you go.
There you go.
All
That's
right,
great.
talk to you
Thank
later.
you.
Okay.
Bye.